How's it going, everyone? Austin Honecker here. I just wanted to come on here for a while and give them a review for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Dynamite's special event, New Year's Smash. I gotta say, it was awesome from start to finish. For the matches, match 1, it was FTR, which are Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler, and the Hardy Family Office, which are Matt Hardy, Mark Quinn, and Isaiah Cassidy, versus Christian Cage, the Lucha Brothers, which are Rey Fenix and Penta El Cerro Miedo, and the Jurassic Express, which are Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. That was a great match, but the ending to it, FTR and the Hardy Family Office went over because Dax Harwood pinned Christian Cage with the big rig from Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler. That was match 1, by the way. Match 2, it was Daniel Garcia and 2.0, which are Matt Lee and Jeff Parker, versus Eddie Kingston and Proud and Powerful, which are Santana and Ortiz. That was a great match, but the ending to it, Daniel Garcia and 2.0 went over because Matt Lee pinned Santana with the schoolboy. Now, after the match, after the match, Daniel Garcia and 2.0, which are Matt Lee and Jeff Parker, got back in the ring and started beating the shit out of Santana on a 3-on-1 mugging and everything. And then Eddie Kingston came in to try to help Santana, but Ortiz was already laid out. But Eddie Kingston came in to try to help Santana, but Eddie Kingston got the 3-on-1 mugging as well from 2.0 and Daniel Garcia. And as Eddie Kingston got his ass kicked, 2.0 and Daniel Garcia went back on the attack to Santana, beating the shit out of him 3-on-1. And as that was going on, Chris Jericho came out with his baseball bat Floyd, and Matt Lee and Daniel Garcia retreated, and Chris Jericho attacked Jeff Parker with the baseball bat. And then Jeff Parker retreated, so 2.0 and Daniel Garcia retreated, while Eddie Kingston and Ortiz were tending to Santana, while Chris Jericho was staring down Daniel Garcia and 2.0, and then eventually Chris Jericho was checking on Santana as well, and Chris Jericho and Ortiz were having a little bit of a moment, and Eddie Kingston was staring down Chris Jericho, and Chris Jericho was staring down Eddie Kingston, so pretty much Chris Jericho and Eddie Kingston were staring each other down. Chris Jericho dropped his baseball bat, and Chris Jericho and Eddie Kingston were got all up in each other's faces, and Ortiz got in between Chris Jericho and Eddie Kingston playing Peacemaker. Well, Eddie Kingston left, and then Chris Jericho and Proud and Powerful, which are Santana and Ortiz, were still in the ring and everything. That was cool. And that was match 2, by the way. Match 3, it was Wardlow versus Colin Delaney. That was a squash match, but the ending to it, Wardlow went over with the powerbomb. Well, after the match, as Wardlow was celebrating his victory, the referee was helping Colin Delaney backstage, and as that was going on, Sean Spears attacked Colin Delaney from behind with a steel chair, laying him out, and then Sean Spears signaled for Wardlow to go backstage with him, so Wardlow came along with Sean Spears, and Wardlow and Sean Spears went backstage while the referee was tending to Colin Delaney and and everything. That was cool. That was match 3, by the way. Match 4, it was Jade Cargill versus Thunder Rosa. That was a great match, but the ending to it, Jade Cargill went over with the Jaded. Well, after the match, as Jade Cargill and Mark Sterling were celebrating Jade Cargill's victory, Thunder Rosa attacked Jade Cargill with the Luthez press, and as that was going on, some hooded masked figure person attacked Thunder Rosa and was helping Jade Cargill beat the shit out of Thunder Rosa, and the masked hooded person unmasked and unhooded themselves, and the person was revealed to be Mercedes Martinez. So after Mercedes Martinez revealed herself, Jade Cargill and Mercedes Martinez continued the beating on Thunder Rosa, and then Ruby Soho came out. Ruby Soho came out with a lead pipe, and Jade Cargill, Mercedes Martinez, and Mark Sterling retreated. While the referees got in between Ruby Soho, Jade Cargill, and Mercedes Martinez, and Ruby Soho was tending to Thunder Rosa and everything, and then while Ruby Soho was tending to Thunder Rosa, Jade Cargill, Mercedes Martinez, and Mark Sterling were standing out in the ring staring Ruby Soho and Thunder Rosa down and everything. That was cool. That was match 4, by the way. And match 5, which was the main event, it was Red Dragon, and match 5, which was the main event, it was Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, and Bobby Fish versus the Best Friends, which are Trent, Chuck Taylor, and Orange Cassidy. That was a great match, but the ending to it, Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, and Bobby Fish went over because Kyle O'Reilly pinned Chuck Taylor with the Chasing the Dragon from Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish. Now, after the match, as Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish were celebrating in the ring, the Young Bucks, which are Matt and Nick Jackson, along with Brandon Cutler, was tending to Adam Cole, and tensions were going high and everything between Red Dragon, which are Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly, and the Elite, which are Matt Jackson, Nick Jackson, Adam Cole, and Brandon Cutler, and everything. That was cool. Now, besides all that, MJF, along with Wardlow and Shawn Spears, cut a promo, and MJF was talking about how last week on AEW Dynamite's Holiday Bash, he was tossed over the ring by an untrained outlaw and Sting and everything, and talked about, and it was asking who trained Sting and everything, and then said nobody trained Sting and everything as well. And MJF was talking about saying, now if I was in another professional wrestling company, the better professional wrestling company, this wouldn't happen to me. But this will all be determined whether I stay in AEW or go to the other company in the bidding war of 2024. Not only that, but switching gears to CM Punk. Punky Brewster, you ran away from me CM Punk, you ran away from me like the gutless coward you are last week. Now, CM Punk, now Punky, it's over between us. You're wasting my time. So my next goal is to have gold around my waist. And then MJF was saying, Wardlow, you have the potential to win the Face of the Revolution ladder match and win the AEW TNT title, big man. So whenever you win the AEW TNT title, you will have to relinquish it to me. Wardlow said, excuse me? MJF said, it's in the contracts, big man. And MJF told Sean Spears, he said, Spears, go get Mark Sterling. So Sean Spears went and got Mark Sterling, and Mark Sterling came along with the papers, and Mark Sterling read off Wardlow's contract to MJF, and Mark Sterling said, in this contract, anything that has to do with Wardlow, money, merchandise, title wins, everything, it all goes to MJF and everything. And then Mark Sterling was talking about how he'll make sure MJF gets gold, like he's going to make sure Jade Cargill gets the TBS women's title and everything as well. And then MJF said, okay, cool, Sterling, now disappear. So Mark Sterling left, and then MJF was saying, I'm better than you, and you know it, and everything. That was cool. Tony Schiavone interviewed the Lucha Brothers, which are Rey Fenix and Penta El Zero Miedo, along with Alex Abrahantes, and Tony Schiavone was saying to the Lucha Brothers that there was a lot of miscommunication between the Lucha Brothers, the Jurassic Express, and Christian Cage in their 10-man tag team match tonight and everything. And then the Lucha Brothers were getting ready to talk, but Christian Cage and the Jurassic Express, which are Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, came along, and Christian Cage was saying, tonight was a fluke because you all let your egos get in the way and cost us our match. And Christian Cage was also saying, so next week, since you all want to be egotistical and want to cost us our match, well, how about next week the Jurassic Express go up against you two, the Lucha Brothers, next week on Dynamite for the AEW Tag Team titles. Well, Penta El Zero Miedo was said something in Spanish, and Alex Abrahantes said, Penta says, Christian Cage, you call yourself a legend? Well, bullshit. Because Alex Abrahantes said, Penta says, Christian Cage, you call yourself a legend? You're not. Now, Jungle Boy, you really want to be the greatest of all time? Well, let go of the past and everything. And then Rey Fenix said, we accept. And Penta El Zero Miedo said, because we are the Lucha Brothers and we have zero fear. And then the Lucha Brothers and Alex Abrahantes left while Christian Cage and the Jurassic Express were looking on and everything. That was cool. The Elite, which are Matt Jackson, Nick Jackson, and Adam Cole, and Red Dragon, which are Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish, along with Brandon Cutler, cut a promo, and Adam Cole was talking about how he was going to be teaming with Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish against the Best Friends, which are Trent, Chuck Taylor, and Orange Cassidy and everything. And then Matt Jackson was talking about how Matt Jackson was talking about how Kyle O'Reilly has been rude ever since he's arrived in AEW because he's never said hi to him or anything. And then Kyle O'Reilly was saying, "Oh, hi, Matt. Hi, Nick." And everything. And then Adam Cole was trying to play peacemaker between Matt Jackson and Kyle O'Reilly and everything. And then Adam Cole was saying to the Young Bucks, which are Matt and Nick Jackson, saying, "Bucks, I got this. Go on." So the Young Bucks left, and then Kyle O'Reilly said, "You too, Bobby." And Bobby Fish said, "All right, man." So Bobby Fish left, and then left as well. And then Kyle O'Reilly was talking to Adam Cole, saying, "Adam, we may have some bad history together, but tonight I'll be having you and Bobby's backs. But what's that going to say about you? Are you going to have my back, or are you not going to have my back? Because tonight I will find out one way or the other whether you will have my back or not." Then Kyle O'Reilly left, and Adam Cole was looking on and told Brandon Cutler to turn off the camera and everything. That was cool. Dan Lambert, along with Men of the Year, which are Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page, were out in the ring, and Dan Lambert had a microphone and was cutting a promo talking about how he's been busy with his MMA gym and how he's dealt with the bullshit in AEW and everything. And Dan Lambert was talking shit about Arn Anderson, saying that he grew up idolizing Arn Anderson, but Arn Anderson's become nothing but a corporate joke and an ass kisser to Cody Rhodes and everything. And then talked about how Cody Rhodes has done nothing but suck up to Tony Khan and everything, and talked about how Cody Rhodes has had a great career in the business of professional wrestling, but then turned into a corporate sellout when he came to AEW, sucking up to Tony Khan. And not only did he call Cody Rhodes a sellout, but he called Arn Anderson a sellout and called him a whore as well. And then Dan Lambert was going on saying how Cody Rhodes got the title shot for the AEW TNT title, and how more deserving talent have not gotten shit and everything. And then Dan Lambert was also talking shit about Brandy Rhodes, calling her a stripper and everything. And then Ethan Page was going on with stripper jokes, talking about her being a whore and being a stripper and calling her Bambi and all that shit. And then Dan Lambert was saying, "All right, let's quit with the stripper jokes because they're going to get tiring and old fast." And then Dan Lambert continued to talk more shit, and then Brandy Rhodes came out with a microphone and said, "Well, look who it is. It's the ugly-ass, bobble-headed looking, less talented Paul Heyman." And Dan Lambert said, "I'd prefer Jim Cornette." And then Brandy Rhodes was saying, "So, Dan Lambert, when's the last time you got your ass kicked by a woman and you had to pay for it?" Dan Lambert said, Bambi, or I should say Brandy, because I get my stripper names mixed up. Well, Brandy, as you know, I am a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, so I would rather. So, with that being said, Brandy, instead of this shit stain of AEW, I would rather be back in the street fight against the Inner Circle, having my balls stapled to my leg from Chris Jericho. But going back to what I was saying about being a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you really want to fight me? Well, let's go. Brandy Rhodes said, Well, Dan Lambert, you say you're a black belt? Well, I'm a black bitch. So let's go. So let's fight. So Brandy Rhodes took off her high heels and Dan Lambert, and Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page were holding Dan Lambert back, and then Dustin Rhodes came out to try to play peacemaker, trying to calm down, trying to hold Brandy Rhodes back, and then as that was going on, Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page attacked Dustin Rhodes from behind, and then Men of the Year, which are Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page, along with Dan Lambert, left the ring, and then Brandy Rhodes was tending to, Brandy Rhodes was tending to Dustin Rhodes and everything. That was cool. AEW aired a video package of the build-up of the second match between Hangman Page versus Bryan Danielson for the AEW title and everything. AEW aired a video package of the build-up of the second match between Hangman Page versus Bryan Danielson for the AEW title. That was cool. And the whole segment with Dan Lambert and the Men of the Year, along with Dustin and Brandy Rhodes, was awesome. Was cool, by the way. Anyways, yeah, okay. Okay. AEW aired a video package of the build-up of the match between Britt Baker versus Riho for the AEW Women's title at Battle of the Belts, which that was cool. CM Punk came out and cut a promo. Well, yeah, CM Punk came out with a microphone and cut a promo. And CM Punk was talking about how he's never been to the Daily's place in Jacksonville, Florida, and he didn't know their setup, and he was wondering where Jim Ross was at, and then he saw Jim Ross up at the commentary booth and was talking about how it was great to have Jim Ross back on commentary and everything, and then CM Punk was talking about how what made him come to AEW was how they were about how AEW was about the late great Brody Lee of his tribute show and his death and everything, and CM Punk was saying after the death of the late great of my friend the late great Brody Lee and how AEW handled it, it made me want to come here. It made me want to come here and everything, and then CM Punk was talking about how MJF was saying that how MJF was saying that their feud was over and everything, and CM Punk talked about how MJF ran like a gutless coward last week in their trios match, and talked about how MJF was saying that their feud was over and everything, and CM Punk was saying, well, MJF, that's fine, because you showed your true colors and ran like a gutless coward last week in our trios match, but the good thing about that match, I got to team with the legend Sting and the great Darby Allin and we beat MJF and FTR. So MJF is going around saying that he's he that he's chasing after gold. Well, newsflash, Max. Newsflash, MJF. I am too, and I will make sure that I will do anything in my power to make sure you don't get the title shot before I do. And because MJF, you're nothing but a gutless coward. You're a Twitter troll. You can't back. You talk behind the keyboard but can't back it up in person. But like I said, I'm going to kick your ass, and I'm going to make sure you don't get a shot at any of the AEW titles and everything. Which was cool. Team Taz, which are Ricky Starks and Powerhouse Hobbs, cut a promo, and Ricky Starks was talking about how it was good to see Jim Ross back on commentary for AEW, and talked about how now Taz don't have to worry about doing commentary for AEW Dynamite. He can now focus on his son Hook and everything. And Ricky Starks was also talking about how Dante Martin turned his back on Team Taz, and how Team Taz got their revenge on Dante Martin, and how ever since Dante Martin's been hanging around Leo Rush, he's not had no success and everything. And then Ricky Starks was also talking shit about Dante Martin and everything as well. And then Ricky Starks mentioned about Powerhouse Hobbs beating the shit out of Dante Martin and everything. And then Powerhouse Hobbs was saying that Dante, let me refresh your memory, because not too long ago on AEW Dynamite I kicked your ass, and I will damn sure do it again. And then but before all that was said between Ricky Starks and Powerhouse Hobbs, Ricky Starks announced that this Friday on AEW Rampage special event, New Year's Smash, Taz will be hosting Technique by Taz for Hook's Red Rum and everything. That was cool. Hikaru Shida cut a promo talking about how, the Team Taz promo was cool, by the way. Hikaru Shida cut a promo talking about how Serena Deeb has been whining about why she lost to Hikaru Shida and everything. And then Hikaru Shida was talking about how the reason why Serena Deeb lost is because she tore the turnbuckle off the turnbuckle pad off the turnbuckle, and went into the turnbuckle and everything. And then Hikaru Shida was talking about how she was not done with Serena Deeb, and how she was going to kick Serena Deeb's ass and everything. That was cool. Tony Schiavone interviewed Brian Pillman Jr., and Tony Schiavone brought up to Brian Pillman Jr. that about what Malachi Black done to Griff Garrison last week on AEW Dynamite's Holiday Bash, and how Malachi Black laid Brian Pillman Jr. out with the Black Mass last week on AEW Dynamite Holiday Bash as well. And Brian Pillman Jr. was saying, yeah, Tony, Brian Pillman Jr. said, got the microphone and said, yeah, Tony, last week, Malachi Black came close to ending the career of my brother, Griff Garrison. Now, I don't remember a lot about that night, but I will say this. I do remember getting my head kicked in and being, and waking up with a concussion. But I will say this. I didn't know my father, the late great Brian Pillman Sr., well at all, because I was young when he passed away. But I will say one thing I did learn about my father's life is never give up. Fight to the finish. And that's exactly what I'm going to do, Malachi Black, because next week I want your ass in this ring. And Brian Pillman Jr. was talking about how he made his debut here at the Daly's place in Jacksonville, Florida, in AEW and everything. But then Brian Pillman Jr. was saying, talking about his dad, the late great Brian Pillman Sr., saying he didn't know him that well in life because the late great Brian Pillman Sr. passed away when Brian Pillman Jr. was just a little boy. Well, Brian Pillman Jr. was saying, but one thing I did learn from my father, the late great Brian Pillman Sr., was to never give up and to fight to the finish. So next week, Malachi Black, I want your ass in this ring next week. And then the lights went out, and then Malachi Black appeared and stared down Brian Pillman Jr. Then the lights went out. Next thing you know, Malachi Black disappeared, and Brian Pillman Jr. was looking on and everything. That was cool. The Acclaimed, which are Max Caster and Anthony Bowens, cut a promo, and Max Caster was talking about how the Acclaimed were the greatest tag team in AEW, and how they weren't ranked and they were being overshadowed by Sting and Darby Allin and everything. And then Anthony Bowens was saying, Darby Allin, Friday night on AEW Rampage, New Year's Smash, I'm going to kick your My Chemical Romance looking ass, and Max and I are going to go back up in the tag team title, the tag team rankings and everything. And then Sting and Darby Allin cut a promo in that same vignette, and Sting was talking about how when he first started in the wrestling business, he wasn't in very many main event matches, but he treated every single match like it was the main event and everything. And then talked about how Darby Allin was going up against Anthony Bowens on AEW Rampage, New Year's Smash and everything. And then Darby Allin was saying, Sting and I, we're in the top 10, we're in the top 5 rankings for the AEW tag team division. And every team we faced, we've beaten them. So Anthony Bowens, you want to fight on AEW Rampage, New Year's Smash? Well, you got it. Well, you're on. And everything. That was cool. And then Anna Jay and Ty Conti cut a promo, and Anna Jay was talking about how they've beaten the Bunny and Penelope Ford, and Anna Jay and Ty Conti cut a promo, and Anna Jay was talking about how her and Ty Conti have beaten Penelope Ford and the Bunny, and Ty Conti was saying a million times, and then Anna Jay was saying, yes, we have beaten them a lot of times, but the only time they've ever beaten us was when they cheated. So, girls, how about the four of us? How about Ty Conti and I team up against you two in a street fight on AEW Rampage New Year's Smash and everything? And then the Bunny and Penelope Ford cut a promo, and Penelope Ford was saying, you know, kids, this isn't karate. This is a street fight. So Anna Anna Jay and Ty Conti, you want me and the Bunny in a street fight this Friday on AEW Rampage New Year's Smash? Well, you got it. And then the Bunny was going all crazy and everything as well. That was cool. Now, besides all that, besides all that, Jim Ross, Tony Schiavone, and Excalibur done commentary throughout the whole show. They done awesome as usual. The referees for the event were... Now besides the matches, the promos, the segments, and the vignettes and everything, Jim Ross, Tony Schiavone, and Excalibur done commentary throughout the whole show. They done awesome as usual. And the referees for the event were Rick Knox, Paul Turner, Bryce Remsburg, and Aubrey Edwards. Okay. Aubrey Edwards refereed the match between FTR and the Hardy Family Office versus Christian Cage, the Lucha Brothers, and the Jurassic Express. Rick Knox refereed the match between 2.0 and Daniel Garcia versus Proud and Powerful and Eddie Kingston. Bryce Remsburg refereed the match between Wardlow versus Colin Delaney. Paul Turner refereed the match between Jade Cargill versus Thunder Rosa. And Bryce Remsburg refereed the match between Adam Cole and Red Dragon versus the Best Friends. All the referees done awesome as usual. Now, the match card that's been announced for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Dynamite next week, that's the match card that's been announced for it so far, it's going to be Hangman Page versus Bryan Danielson for the AEW title. The Lucha Brothers, which are Rey Fenix and Pena El Cerro Miedo, versus the Jurassic Express, which are Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, for the AEW Tag Team titles. Ruby Soho versus Jade Cargill for the TBS Women's title. And Malachi Black versus Brian Pillman Jr. So the match card for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Dynamite next week that's been announced so far looks like it's going to be awesome. Can't wait to see it. Looking forward to it. And the match card that's been announced so far for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Rampage New Year's Smash tomorrow night, it's going to be Cody Rhodes versus Ethan Page for the AEW TNT title. Darby Allin versus Anthony Bowens. And Anna Jay and Ty Conti versus the Bunny and Penelope Ford in a street fight. Those are the matches that have been announced so far. But besides the matches that have been announced, Taz will be hosting his segment Technique by Taz, but the topic will be Hook's Red Rum. So the match card for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Rampage special event New Year's Smash looks like tomorrow night. Looks like it's going to be awesome. Looking forward to it. Can't wait to see it. But anyway, I just wanted to come on here for a while and give them a review for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Dynamite. But anyway, I just wanted to come on here for a while and give them a review for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Dynamite's special event, New Year's Smash. Like I said, it was awesome from start to finish. And with that being said, my name is Austin Honecker, and I will catch your ass down the road. Peace out.